This story begins at a pub late at night where a bartender moved swiftly behind the beam, even if the place was swamped with customers. Yet this bartender seemed unbothered by it, taking orders from each side of his bar, pouring drinks, and having a smile, completely in his element. Hi, my name is Hyunmin Ito. I am an alpha that looks nothing like one, often being mistaken for an omega by my soft and gentle features, smaller than most alphas, and a scent that is almost imperceptible since I use scent blockers because of my jobs. Funny enough, that is enough for most people to judge and criticize. Most of the people I served were chill and calm, just chatting or minding their business. One of those was a table, two gentlemen, both attractive, I had to say. When I got their orders at their table, one was a younger man, light hair and caramel skin, no scent coming off of him. He had to be a beta. He smiled at me and started praising me, quite bold of him. I just smiled when a rich scent hit me. It was almost imperceptible, like really dull, yet it managed to get to me. It was fresh, like grass just cut, azahar flowers and a hint of peach. It was a different smell for an alpha, I thought, thinking this man was as well an alpha. Yet it was mouth-watering. I couldn't help myself but to turn around and stare at this man, tall, broad shoulders, chocolate skin, black hair that seemed silky under the touch. God, his eyes. They were this ice blue that could freeze anyone, and you bet he froze me. And the man stared back at me, both seemingly entranced for each other. We could stay like that. But the other man at the table brought us back, the younger one, looking at us strangely. I felt my cheek burn for a moment before I catched myself, returning to my customer service mask. I smiled, offering another drink or something else for them. My eyes kept drifting to this gorgeous being, yet they didn't want anything else. With a small smile, I returned to my station, feeling bewildered, in a good way, though. However, that couldn't last long when a customer had to be annoying. At the end of the bar, trying to get my attention like I'm not the only bartender on the clock, he whistled and snapped his fingers at me. And God, did I have to hold back, not wanting to start a fight, one I would win. But that is besides the point, nor did I want to have an argument with my boss about it. Once I managed to get every order and the rush finished, I had to go and service this man, for these entitled people that I hate customer service. I arrived at where he stood, my smile still in place even if I wanted to do anything but smile at this man. "Hello, sir. What else can I get you?" I asked, trying to keep a steady voice. This man probably had had a few drinks by now. The man had a smirk, an amused one. Suddenly I caught a reeking scent, another alpha's pheromones. It reeked of trying to overpower me, to try and get me to submit. A fool. "Why don't you accompany me, sweetheart? I could use the good company, especially a nice piece like you," the man said with a sweetness he thought would get me, or any omega. Good thing there weren't any of my omega coworkers who could try and sweep off their feet. I smiled, tight. "Oh, sir, I apologize, but I'm on the clock, but if you would like, I could get you another drink," I said calmly, trying to stay at ease. But of course, this man had to be an even more pain in the ass than he already is. "Come on, sweet pie, don't be like that. I'm not gonna bite." He let the implication hang, unless you want me to, of course. He had this insufferable smile plastered on his face. God, this type of alphas disgusted me so much, I had to hold back a growl, my eyes sharpened on the man. "I apologize, sir, but I'm afraid I will not accept the offer," I managed to say without snarling at this man. But oh, he had to be all creepy. And when I was about to really growl at this man when he kept trying to win me over, another man appeared beside the other one of the table I had a little crush on, the younger one, light hair and caramel skin, eyes sharp just as his smirk. "Hi, is there something going on here?" the younger man asked. I stared at him, a bit startled back. But before I could answer, the beta started calling the man out, cursing and pointing at the man. The creep was startled by the beta calling him out, which caused another man, an alpha, a broader man, to stand and walk to them. It seemed like a bodyguard of the creep. Great, I thought. Yet the beta didn't back up. He squared up to the alpha, while the creep was still startled. I could only sigh. This was starting to be a headache. Suddenly the creep moved, standing up fast, but the younger man stopped him, causing the bodyguard to reach out, catching the beta's wrist, but that only caused a fight. I stepped aside, trying to get some distance to observe, except that the creep decided it was his time to make a move as well, catching my wrist, pulling me to him, and now all of this turned in a kidnapping. The creep pulled out a pocket knife, taking it against my throat. I didn't flinch. My eyes stayed on him and the bodyguard. The customers were shocked and taken aback, moving away from the commotion. And when I decided this was enough, the smell of cut grass, azahar flower, and a hint of peach filled my nostrils. My head turned to seek that scent. Landing on the gorgeous man, he was walking toward me, and I could have been blushing, giddy if it wasn't for the fact that I had a knife against my throat. His eyes were sharp on the man behind me. It made my heart flutter in a way it shouldn't while in this situation. And when he spoke, I felt my wolf allured by it. "Sir, please let go of the worker. This doesn't need to get ugly." His words carried that edge of dominance, the one that suggested to obey. The man behind me didn't move nor give up. "Oh, that's something you shouldn't worry about. You can just back off and leave this pretty Omega to me. No fight then, nor things getting ugly, right?" His voice had that hint of amusement, like this wasn't a serious matter, like he doesn't actively have a knife against my throat. The gorgeous alpha, his eyes were sharper now, clearly not like where the situation was going, how the man keeping me held didn't want to, well, let me go. A negotiation started between these two men, while the younger one kept wrestling with the bodyguard. This had to end soon, and the man behind me didn't seem to budge at all. My eyes moved to one of the cameras, seeing the red light that meant it was recording. Slowly, the camera moved upside down. It was like a nod, meaning I had permission to end this all at once. The lights turned bright red, going on and off. The customers panicked and scattered off. Smart people. I wasn't as smart. Taking the chance where they were taken aback by the lights, I used the act of surprise, my hand shooting to grab the wrist that held the knife. I moved swiftly, bringing the hand with me, twisting it. The knife dropped, and I catched before it could reach the floor. Everything being witnessed between the glimpses of light by the gorgeous alpha, I had turned the situation. My eyes were sharp, cold. The bodyguard catched the change of the situation, tensing at the sight. The creep was pale now that he had the knife against his throat. "Now leave and never come back, or things get ugly," I said, maybe too calm for the beta and alpha liking. The bodyguard kept his eyes on me before he let go of the beta. Retreating to the door, I followed him with his boss still threatened by the knife against his throat. And when we were outside the pub, I pushed the boss hard, making him stumble to the ground. "You are banned from this place for harassment and disturbing a public space. Have the night you deserve, gentlemen." And with that, I closed the door, saving the knife in my pocket, turning around to face the other two gentlemen, who were too stunned to speak. I couldn't help but chuckle, lowly. The gorgeous kept staring at me like I was something amazing, making my heart stutter, my wolf feeling praised in some way. The lights returned to normality. The beta looked impressed, bruises forming on his arms. "How?" the beta stuttered. I only smiled. My heart beat fast thanks to the adrenaline, not because of fear. "Well, gentlemen, as you can see, we are now closed. Your drinks are on the house. Please leave." I said, even if I didn't want the gorgeous alpha to leave. But I knew I had to wrap everything before the other two decided to come back. Who are you? The gorgeous alpha asked, his eyes never leaving mine. Hyunmin smiled. I'm just a bartender, sir. And maybe this night had turned a little more crazy than I thought. Thanks for hearing the first part of this story. If you would like a second part and see how this story develops, click the like button. Have a good one.